And now we live in this moment where everyone's kind of a hoe and you have to work harder to get a woman that doesn't have any self-respect.
Age and occupation.
OnlyFans. I do content creating like on OnlyFans, and I work as a legal courtesan, meaning a legal prostitute.
And then I do OnlyFans. I am a legal sex worker. And he started talking about hoflation, which is like that's which he's saying that men used to have to do a lot less and get a very high value woman. He's like, so think about your grandparents and your grandmother. She was a high value woman. She raised the kids. She was conservative. She was beautiful, all of these things. And now we live in this moment where everyone's kind of a hoe and you have to work harder to get a woman that doesn't have any self-respect or any value. And I just thought it was a really interesting video. It was obviously funny, but he was saying something. And we live in hoflation now, where everybody in their own capacity is selling their bodies. And unfortunately, these are the options that men have. No, I'm not saying it's stunning to me that women talk about what men need to be and what men need to be, but I think just kind of the complete disintegration of when I look at what my grandmother looked like in pictures. She passed in 2013, and just how classy and how beautiful and how much I wanted to be like her. And now I look at women today, and I just think, man, I feel bad for guys. Like that the pool is getting smaller, but also it's really positive for women that are conservative and who it means that you're a part of maybe a smaller pool of individuals. I see it a lot more in the South, and that men should aspire to pursue those women, absolutely, to raise their families and to raise their kids.
They don't. This 304 inflation is real. See, the problem is, feminism has backfired on them, and then you get the 70s with sexual liberation, and this thing, it completely backfired. This old saying that why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? This is basically what 304 inflation perpetuated. Okay, it has just got way out of control. And this whole message of feminism, they start making it sound as though being a harlot is a good thing. They're selling it to women being a good thing. And then people, when you study sociology, so people have this pack mentality. And so these women, they all do it together. They're all together. Hey, you got 20 bodies, then somebody else in the pack is going to have 20 bodies, or they're going to top it, or they're going to go and do things together. And they're going to have all kinds of lasciviousness rampant with them, right? They're going to be ran through. It's going to get ugly. It has gotten ugly. It's gotten ugly. You got your Kappa and your Kappa beach parties, things like that. Remember back in the 90s, Girls Gone Wild. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy what women will do now. And then see what's funny, what's weird is that when they later in life, when they go back to their biological imperatives, and they're going to want a husband, and they're going to want children, and they will not be able to find it. The Bible speaks of in Isaiah 3 that, that the daughters of Zion has become haughty and wanting and tinkling and mincing as they go about, and talks about the wicked woman, how she's waiting, at every corner, waiting for some guy to pass by and things like that. And then it's funny that these modern women today, they shame men because men still value purity when it comes to marriage and family. They mistake the idea that, because some guys out there who will pretty much sleep with anything, they think that all guys are like that. And they think that because the guy will sleep with them, the guy will marry them. I've given an analogy before. I say, women, particularly in their prime, they have two lines of men. There's a line of men that are willing to sleep with them, and there's a line of men that are willing to marry them. Okay, we're saying, in their prime. Okay, now the line of men willing to sleep with them is longer than the line of the man who's willing to marry them, because the married line means this man is willing to commit to you, right? And that's different. But they conflate the two. And so that's why, because they have so many options, they think it's going to be that way forever, not realizing that the biological clock is ticking against them. And as they accept more men in the line that will simply sleep with them with no commitment and walk away, then the line for the men who's willing to commit with them is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. This idea of this 304-flation is destroying women and their opportunity to actually have a family. And they're gonna want it, and they're not gonna be able to find it. And then all of a sudden they start thinking that all men are the problem. No, your choices are the problem. That's just my observation. I'll see you guys on the next one. High Value Heat.